G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on Dry Arabia for Age of Empires 4. We've got ourselves a pretty fun matchup today. I was tempted to say a bit of a classic, but of course these two civilizations are both new. So let's get into it, because it's going to be fun nonetheless. Spawning in on the north side of the map in the color teal, playing as the Juicy Legacy. It's going to be Defender. And on the south side of the map in the dark blue, or the blue, it's going to be Wham01 on Order of the Dragon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dry Arabia. It is a pleasure to be able to bring you this casted game, and I'm excited for this matchup. Of course, you guys will know I'm a big fan of the Juicy Legacy, but I'm also a really big fan of this matchup. This matchup is particularly interesting to me because it is representative, I don't know if that's the right word. It's very similar to a matchup that I absolutely hate, and that is the Chinese, the Juicy Legacy, up against the Holy Roman Empire, the Order of the Dragon. What's different, though, is with these variant civilizations, not only do they play differently, but they play drastically differently. The timings are completely different. Expect to see a little bit of a slower castle age from the Order of the Dragon. Expect to see a little bit of a faster tempo from the Juicy Legacy. At the moment, this civilization is considered by many to be the best in the business. And I'm curious to see exactly how Defender looks to exploit it today on Dry Arabia. Now, one thing to note is we do have ourselves a little bit of a asteroid over towards this east side of the map. You can see on the mini-map just how imprinted it's become. I don't know if imprinted is the right word. It looks like we might have had a double right here. But, you know, there's something I want to talk to you guys about. We're only 2 minutes through this game, and I know you might be thinking, Drongo, can we just talk about the game? Nah, we got to talk about something else. I don't know if you guys know this, all right, but I am a bit of a fan of Aliens. And I'm not talking about the series. I'm not talking about the TV show or the movies, even though they're probably pretty good. I think I watched Starship Troopers when I was a kid. That was good fun. Nothing better than having nightmares as a 12-year-old about giant queens. Oh, God. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Aliens. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's, you know, 2024, the year of the alien. That's what they say, or the year of the UFO. There's a couple of things on the horizon here, of course. I mentioned it in another video. Nice little Arkan Chapel cancel right there. Throws it down, gets it a little bit closer to the deer. We'll be enabling a deer push on this backside. Very, very smart decision. But does not hit the town center anymore, so needs to make sure that he brings over these sheep over towards the Arkan Chapel, make sure he's able to pick them up. Yeah, so for anybody wondering, there looks to be a paper that's going to be coming out this year that'll be confirming that there are biosignatures on a planet that is not within our solar system that will basically 100% confirm that, look, there is life out there, which is going to be exciting. There's just been rumors around it from the scientific community. It's just, you know, it's one of those secrets that's not particularly well kept. But have a look at this nicely kept secret up towards the north from Defender. This is a beautiful little meditation gardens here. He's going to hit the stone, hits the gold, gets plenty of the wood, and I reckon he's probably going to get a couple of these berries as well. We can see the radius right there. I reckon he might pick up 2 or 3 of them if he's lucky. Now, not only that, but we obviously, with regard to the aliens, I don't know how much you guys are into it, but for me, I'm really into it. And I feel like it's one of those subjects, the more you learn about it, the more fun you have with it. And I think that it's important that we always keep an open mind about it. I just want to remind you that, you know, I'm not saying that you know, that ET is going to phone home for you or whatnot, but there's another really cool video that's come out by a guy by the name of Jeremy Corbell, who has done, normally I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan of his stuff. He's got some pretty decent connections though, but he's come out with a really cool video which has been leaked from the Department of Defense, I guess, from some form of military contractor or military agency. Look, I'll leave a link in the description, but let me just say this: it looks like an overlord. You know, from StarCraft, it actually looks like an overlord. I'm not even kidding you. I wish I was kidding you. This thing is creepy as all hell. So anyway, I'll leave a link in the description. Go check that out. What I really find quite interesting as well is with this specific UAP or UFO as they're called, it changes its thermal temperature. So it's hot, but then it's cold. It's a little bit like Katy Perry. But anyway, I'll leave a link down there. Go check it out. Let me know what you think, though. You're excited about the year of the UFO, the year of the alien. Song Dynasty about to come through. Nice little timing here for Defender. Let's have a look in on this top side and see how he's doing. Yeah, not the biggest numbers, honestly. I'd be more tempted to prioritize these berries over the stones. I think that's a little bit of a mistake from him. I would have gone closer in, up towards his top side. But Song Dynasty coming through. Jiangnan Tower online. Does he move into that second TC? Indeed, he's looking for it right now. Yeah, second Imperial official going to be coming out early for him as well. We'll check in with Wham and see how he's doing, as it's going to be a castle age timing for him. But have a look at this, a wheelbarrow coming through. Not going to be opting for survival techniques. This is a bit, I wouldn't necessarily say a bit strange, but unfortunate. Can you see that? Look at the radius on that. It is just right outside it. Oh, you hate to see. You hate to see it. You know what I'd be tempted to say to Wham? Wham, just throw your mill down right here, because when you enter that inspiration range of the Archon Chapel, that's going to buff up those villagers for quite a bit of time. If I remember correctly, it's like 15 seconds or something. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, never mind. He's playing Order of the Dragon. The Archon Chapel is meaningless. And we move on. We move on to greener pastures, because it's only the Order of the Dragon. You know, I forget sometimes. You know, I'm too busy talking about Overlords, IRL, and I get sidetracked. But Defender now going to be throwing down that second TC. A little bit late for my liking. We've got a timing here of around the 6 minute mark, maybe about 5:50, 5:45, somewhere around that region. You can get some pretty quick ones. Around 5:10 is about the fastest that I've seen, but throwing up that nice little village with a farm next to it. Is this meant to be a granary? Is this meant to be a granary? I feel like this is meant to be a granary, and he's actually accidentally building a village. He doesn't need to build a village right now. He's already got a village. Don't do it. Don't do it. Defender, don't do it. No. No. Defender, he makes an absolutely huge mistake right here on the Juicy Legacy. Now, I got to provide you... you hate to see it. You hate to see it, Defender. How many resources did he throw away just there? 75 wood. Just gone like that. Other side of the map, though. Regnitz Cathedral coming up. The wall has come in, but I think there might be a little bit of an opening on this backside. It's going to be hard to tell. We'll have to keep an eye on that for the late game, but now we've got that Regnitz Cathedral coming down. Only the five villagers, rather. Not 5 villagers. 5 villagers tapping away. When it comes to relics, how many has he spotted? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He spotted every single one of them. I was going to sing a children's song right there. I tell you what, since having a toddler, children's songs have just become, they've come right back into my life. And you want to know what's wild? Is that some of those children, like the nursery rhymes, it's like, how do I describe it, man? I feel like I'm a sleeper agent and they activate me. I do not remember knowing these nursery rhymes. And then they come on the TV. And it's just, I know every word. I know every action. I'm like, how do I know to do that? I'm waving my hands right now. How do I know this? I don't know. I'm a sleeper agent. Anyway, it's powerful stuff. Those children's, where's my music? Thank you. It's powerful stuff, those children's nursery rhymes. That's what they call them. Nice little base beginning to build over here, though, for Defender. Have a look at this. Pretty decent spot. Walls coming up. Good timing on this. My main fear right now is that he's not really contesting relics. We can see by the looks of the resources, he's thinking about Castle Age on Defender's side. But the reality is, once these prelates start getting kicking out here, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to have enough time to deny them. So I think at this stage of the game, it looks like Wham should be able to pick up a fair amount of these relics. I'd say at the very least 4. Ideally, or hopefully 5. Might be tough to get this last one, as we do hear the first of the cavalry units out on the map. Now, Wham is, of course, going to be looking to go into cavalry himself. We see the stable has come down, looking to move into Gilded Knights. Definitely a wise call in this situation. But a distinct opening on that north side of the Juicy Legacy's base. Could look to get a nice, easy wall here. Guarantee that these woodline villagers are going to be safe. Maybe throw another wall in between the woodline and the stone. But you do have quite that big opening towards the top side, so might even just be worth thinking about moving a wall all the way up here, or maybe across the front of the gold, so you just don't get sieged down. How much did this meditation gardens end up making? So 60, 92, 100. Yeah, it's really not that good. Not gonna find it. I think this meditation gardens definitely should have been up towards this top side, and then just picked up all of these berries. That would have been a little bit better, because then you're talking what, 64? And then 94, and then all the wood here. So you'd probably, what's the wood here? 32. So yeah, you'd be looking at like around 140, somewhere around that region. So not too bad. Looks like the prelate, though, will be able to pick up that first relic. It's on the way back now. Keep in mind, he's going to have second, third prelates coming out shortly. In fact, he's already got 3 out on the map, so expect to see them picking up relics. Here we go. Another one moving out towards this east side, coming down through the crater. Of course, For anyone who's played Civilization 6, you'll be familiar with all the cool what are they called? World Wonders? I think World Wonders. World Wonders? No, Natural Wonders? Yeah, Natural Wonders. One of my favorites. I'll be honest, not really one of my favorites. It's just one that I remember. Baringa Crater. That's a cool looking crater. I actually saw a post on Reddit. There was a guy, he's like, this is Baringa Crater. I was like, that's a cool looking crater, isn't it? Absolutely massive. It was flying. But speaking of flying right now, this prelate is trying to fly by these horsemen. Unfortunately, not going to happen. He does lose it. Another one going to come down into queue. And defender on that north side of the map, now going up with the Montlu Academy. So not even looking to get out. Nice little timing as well. 10 minutes 30. Not a bad timing at all, considering the amount of farms that he's picked up here. But yeah, I'd say that not even looking for the early Shaolin monks. A little bit interesting, but I guess it kind of makes sense, right? You're up against a Gilded Knight. Do you dare fight up against this guy? Like, this guy's just such a badass. There's no real way that you're going to be able to keep up with him. He's just way too strong. And so as a result, we're going to start seeing relics getting picked up. Now, hopefully we do see him throw down a monastery at the very least. Look to see him try and pick up this relic in the back of the base, because this one here is a gimme. You want to try and guarantee that, or you want to try and secure that one as early as you possibly can, just because you want to avoid your opponent picking it up. But you're playing 4 relics up against 1. That's pretty good for the Order of the Dragon player, I'll say that much. Honestly, any game, you know, when I'm doing my coaching over on Patreon, which if you're interested in checking out, I'll leave a link in the description for that one as well. If you want to improve, make sure you check it out as the prelate is going down right here. But one of the things I often talk about when I'm coaching Order of the Dragon or Holy Roman Empire players is, look, 3 relics is our goal. If we can get 3 relics, we're going to be really happy. 4 relics is great. That is amazing. If we can get 4 relics, we're in a really good position. And if we get 5 relics, we're doing exceptional, and probably need to question the status of your opponent, whether they're at the keyboard or not, because you shouldn't ever get 5 relics realistically. I mean, there are going to be games where it happens. Even at the top level, we see players getting 5 relics. You know, sometimes we'll see players intentionally allow their opponent to gather all of the relics because of they're going for a secondary strategy. But have a look at this. A little bit of a push coming out right now from Defender. Not taking his name by name literally, I guess we could say. I guess they probably should have named him Attacker or something like that, because he's starting to push out now. Upgrades on the way through as well. Have a look at this. We've got Imperial Red Seals coming through already. You know, I was a fan of Navy Seals, but Imperial Red Seals are pretty damn decent as well. Sprinkled in placement. Not yet through. Gotta be careful, man. My pronunciation's getting worse. I don't know if you guys have noticed it. If you have, let me know. Actually, you know what? If you have, don't let me know, because it's just going to make me more conscious of it. And I don't know what it is. Maybe I've had a little bit to drink. Could that be it? And I'm not talking water. I'm not talking Red Bull. I'm talking... What have I got? I've got... I don't know if I should say it on the air. You guys are going to make fun of me. It's beer, guys. It's beer. Yep. It smells like a public toilet. Yeah, well, that's good stuff. Yum. Australian beer. Delicious. It's apple cider. It's like apple juice, but alcoholic. It's pretty good. Anyway, walls are coming up towards the west side of Defender's base. He's got a pretty good set. I like this set of walls that are coming in right here. Really nice angle that he's got going on it. But now going to be picked up by the wolf. The one thing to note, though, it's a little opening right here. We want to make sure we close off this opening. You never want to allow it. Even if there's just the tiniest little opening, your enemy may potentially exploit it. Speaking of exploitation, have a look at this. We've got ourselves I was going to say a Royal Knight, a Gilded Knight on the way through here. Not going to be able to take out that last villager, but does still manage to get one, which isn't too bad. Second one almost going to go down right there. Doesn't manage to get it. And now crossbow, lancer, Zhugunu looking to try and chase away these units, and it's only now that I look at these units and I go, I can tell the difference between the Zhugunu and the crossbow. It's difficult, right? And I think once the Zhugunu gets veterancy, these become even harder to tell the difference between. But the main way that you do it is the head cap, right? Like, one of them's got a white head cap and the other one's got a brown one or a black one. Numbers starting to look pretty decent for Defender, though. We'll check in on the south side. We'll see how Wham's doing as those number of Gilded Knights are starting to rise. Spearman in the middle of the map. Unfortunately going to get picked off here. He is rallying out a couple of units, and we see the Lancer going to be coming out as well. Looking to try and shut down some of these villagers. He hasn't taken out any yet at this stage of the game. Keep in mind that this opening towards the front could be problematic. Villager does go down. Gilded Knight making it out with 38 health. Should be able to get back. and we'll be able to find heals from those prelates. Keep in mind, he's got 3 of them online at the moment. 15 minutes into the game, we'll switch over to the income so you guys can see where these guys are at the moment. It looks like about 2,500 for Wham. Compare that to his opponent, who's also on 2,500. So they're pretty even Stevens at the moment when it comes to economies, and that is impressive considering Wham did secure 4 relics. Now remember, at this stage of the game, Defender is ahead on the villager count by 30. However, the Order of the Dragon is going towards that Imperial Age. Now, I've got a theory about Order of the Dragon. You know, it's not really a theory. It's more of like a 1 + 1 = 2. So what do we know about the Order of the Dragon? I'll give you some basics. The villagers, they work harder. And they take the same population as a normal villager. If you played Age of Empires 3, you'll be familiar with the French and the Coureur de Bois. It was a stronger villager. It had ranged armor, had a really strong attack, but we'll talk about that later as we got ourselves a little bit of a push coming to shove right now. Crossbow's trying to dish out the damage. Only going to be able to find a gilded archer for the moment as he picked up that leather. He has picked up the leather armor. That's going to give him a little bit more presence on this battlefield against the crossbows. Gilded Knight's doing a decent job, and I'm liking this composition coming out from Wham at this stage of the game. It's a really solid amount of units that he's got here, but I'd love to see just a couple more archers joining out on the field. He's got 9 so far, 4 more in the queue. Relic will come down onto the ground. Needs to be careful of a potential snipe, but for the most part, the Gilded Knights are doing a decent job in cleaning up these crossbows. At the same time, the archers, struggling with the horsemen, will be able to take it out, and now the rest of these units should be able to clean up this crossbow. It's just crossbows. I was going to call it crossbow Jukunu, but I'm pretty sure that's just 100% crossbows there. But, what was I talking about? I was talking about something. I can't remember. It mustn't have been too important. That's what they say. If you forget something that you were talking about, at least they say that here in Australia. If you forgot what you were talking about, it mustn't have been too important. So what was I talking about? I was talking about villagers, right? Villagers. So the villagers are stronger. So essentially you've got like 1.25 villagers, right? Like it is just a bigger villager. And it takes the same population as a normal villager. So do you want like a basic ass bitch villager? Or do you want like a Giga Chad villager? And the answer is clearly the Giga Chad villager. And so that only really starts to get realized in the late game. These villagers take longer to produce. They cost more. For all intents and purposes, you're on par with your opponent, even though you've got less villagers. It's only once you reach the late game, once you get your Swabia out, that you actually start kicking it into 5th gear. And that's the point I'm trying to make. I think this civilization does have a window for victory. However, the issue is the window for victory is at like 40+ minutes. When you can actually max out your entire, not 40+ minutes, it's probably closer to like 30+ minutes. But the Swabia will come down now on the front. I'll be honest, I don't really like this position here. Pretty dangerous. I mean, I guess realistically you can just throw an outpost down here, get your cannon in placement or your bombard in placement, and you'll be fine. But it is quite open towards the front here. If the battering rams spot this, and I know that there are some players that would be tempted to do it, just go all in on the Swabia and see how much damage you can deal with it. Because you knock that Swabia out, your opponent is going to be really hurt, really struggling. But now the Swabia is online immediately. Villagers get queued up inside it. Expect that economic number to really start rising here. A difference of 40 at the moment. 3rd TC has been thrown down for Defender as well. It's got a pretty good food economy coming along behind this. And now more raids coming in on that bottom side. He's doing a wonderful job. Now keep in mind, both of these players are Conqueror level players, so don't expect too many mistakes from them. As I say that, I'm watching these Lancers, looking to see whether he's going to run into a bit of an awkward spot on this north side. But keep in mind, the Gilded Knights are chasing him. They're inspired as well. And now we see those elite upgrades starting to come through. It's going to be elite archers, the first of the upgrades coming in now for Wham. He's got plenty of resources available to get those upgrades, but the income not the best. And we can see indeed, you know, we just talked about mistakes. There's one for you. You can get through that little segment right there that was not walled off. So there you go, but look at the numbers coming out for Defender. This is why you got to be so careful about putting a landmark like the Swabia on the front here. If Defender puts 2 and 2 together, and I'm pretty confident he can. Oh, for Siege Workshops, there's a lot of them. Has he picked up Siege Engineering? No Siege Engineering just yet. Wow, but I tell you what he has picked up. 3 Gilded Knights. That is an expensive loss right there for Wham. The equivalent of 6 normal Knights. Bringing in placements, firing off. Plenty of cavalry here looking to round it out. Elite Gilded Archers are through. They've got 5 ranged armor. They're going to take a lot less damage against these crossbows. The crossbow damage going down from 14 to 9. That is absolutely fine. More upgrades coming through for both of these players. Looks like Wham will be moving into Spearman potentially as an option for himself. Farming economy is up and alive. But I tell you what, there's one thing I wish Wham did. What is it, guys? Come on. Don't make me call them. It's the macro police. We said we didn't expect many mistakes coming out from these players, but one of the best in the world has made one. What is it? He didn't put a mill. You need to put a mill down here. You put a mill down just to even right here. All of these villages, instead of running, look how far these guys are going to run right here. Check this out. Have a look at this. Run, 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 drop. Run, 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 stop. And now have a look at this guy right here. Ready? Run, 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 stop. Run, 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 drop. You get the point, right? If this was a mill instead, all of that walking time is pretty much non-existent because all of these immediate adjacent farms are now handing in very, very quickly, and it means that the ones that are further out, like these ones, have got a closer drop-off point as well. Like, look how far these guys are going to have to run. There's a huge amount of distance. So one of the key mistakes that we often see players make in the late game is just ignoring those farms. It's really important to throw, or ignoring those mills. It's really important just to even dot one down in a whole pack of farms is absolutely fine. You really, really just want to make sure that you've got them on those outer edges, though, because it can make a huge difference to that economy. And we can see he's only sitting at 1,600 food a minute at the moment. Compare that to Defender, and he's got some really good-looking farms. This is exactly it. You never really want to go more than this 2-layer of farms without any mills nearby, and even that, you're kind of pushing it. But Town Center under pressure now. Big army coming through from Defender. He's maxed out already. 200 population up against Wham. A lot of that is going to be villagers. Now, keep in mind, Wham has got stronger villagers than his opponent. He's also got the relics. Emergency repairs comes through. He's immediately going to shift the target. Any culverins out at this stage? Doesn't look like it. No culverins coming out. Nesta B is pretty much uncontested at this stage of the game. There are so many spearmen here to defend this. He's got 35 crossbows as well. He's playing the dream composition. The Imperial Age comes through from Defender as well. He's looked to hit the timing. It's absolutely immaculate. Plenty of units running back here, and I don't like this from Defender. Defender, you need to come back. Well done, Defender. He's playing this well. Moving in underneath the town center, underneath the Swabia. Should look to focus the Swabia now. It is the primary target here. And finally, we see that culverin coming into queue here for Wham. This is going to be a key timing for him. He needs to get on top of that siege workshop. He should recognize there is a siege workshop on the front. We need to get our cavalry over there, because if that siege comes out, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. We don't have the clock tower here, so these Nesta Bees will get one shot by the culverin. Expect for it to come out and expect for it to start doing significant damage. Town Center does go down. Gilded Archers moving into position almost immediately. Cavalry looking to try and chase down that culverin. Should be able to start teeing off. Indeed it does. First shot hits. It's successful. Second one going to be looking to connect. Not going to be able to find it. It falls back once again. Crossbows now teeing off towards the Palace of Swabia. Why not? What else is there to target? Nothing else here. Definitely no units, that's for sure. Instead, they're going to focus the culverin down. Culverin starting to lose a fair bit of health right there. It does indeed go down. Second one now in queue. Nesta B's moving back up. He's looking his best to try and hold here, and I think Wham might be able to do it. Up to 28 Gilded Archers for the moment. 6 ranged armor. Definitely nothing to sniff at. Nothing to sniff at. Nothing to skiff at. Nothing to be upset about. That's some pretty good numbers right there. But despite all of that, it looks like Defender is going to have to fall back and play the literal defense game, as unfortunately his numbers have begun to dwindle. So we head back to the drawing board at this stage of the game for Defender. I mean, he's still attacking, but once the culverin's out, there's no way that this push ever comes to shove. Elite Lancers now coming through. Culverin. Oh no, oh god, the culverin's in a terrible spot. Oh no, the culverin's in a terrible spot. Oh lord, the culverin's gonna die. Oh my god, Wham. I can't believe it. Wham, we just talked about how good these players are. You know, they're conqueror level players. You're lucky. You're lucky, Wham. You're lucky. Culverin does survive. And that's going to be the key here in dealing with the Nesta Bees. The Knobs now going to have to fall back away from this. The Culverin will push up. Emergency repairs does come through for the Swabia. That's going to mean that he stays alive. And look at him tempting, not tempting fate, but I guess you could say tempting fate right there. Trying his best to pull those Nesta Bees to turn around so the Culverin got its shot. Let's ride on board with Wham, because at this stage of the game, he is playing a very defensive game. He is stuck in his base. He's looking to utilize all of the wood that he's got. If we have a look at the gold, he's only got 7 villagers on gold, 41 villagers on food. It is quite literally only these villagers here just farming it up. He's got so many farms. Look at this, 42 farms now. And he's just holding for dear life. The absolute king of turtling right here. You've never seen a farming economy this... How do I say it? Oh, God, don't tell me that's coming down as well. How many is that away? 1, 2, 3, 3.5, I think is the real number there. It's getting painful, I'm going to be honest. The macro police have already been called this game. I don't want to have to call them again, so they said that they would be here, but we still haven't seen them. There's no mills getting thrown down. I mean, he's kind of close to the TC. Counterattack coming through on the backside. The wood villagers forced to run away, and Wham looking to play a little bit more of an open base layout. You know, he's taking that modern approach to bases. You know, back in the day, everybody made bases like cubicles, and now all of a sudden, we've all switched to this modern base design where it's open living, it's open bases. Wow, wonderful. But the problem is, when I'm talking on the phone, I can hear everything that the villager next door to me is saying. Nesta B's taken out. Culverin, unfortunately, almost gets picked off, but he manages to scare off his opponent, and I think that's probably the right decision from Defender. Defender, still at this stage, never walled off this base. And can I just say, this is an absolutely massive oversight by both of these players not walling. Walls are, in my opinion, the best unit in the game, right? If you thought the Bombards were good, no, you're wrong. Walls will beat you. If you thought Zhukanoo were good, no, walls will beat them. Walls beat everything. And that's why you should be making more walls. No matter who you are, where you're from, make more walls, especially Mongol players. All right, battering rams, just working as targeting aids here for the Culverin on the backside. Pretty decent numbers coming through here. We can see the crossbowmen starting to tee off. Have they got their unique upgrade coming in? The Zhukanoo also. We've got veterancy for them. It looks like the elite upgrade now arriving for them. They're going to get a nice little damage boost. They're up to 11. He's in Song Dynasty. Could look for Ming Dynasty here and get that up to 12. Now, keep in mind, behind this, he has not gone. Let's have a look and see if we can spot it. There it is, Motlu Academy. There we go. It's the Temple of the Sun. So he's got that little bit of extra movement speed. Doesn't go for the 10,000 bolts upgrade just yet. He is absolutely obliterating the Holy Roman Empire variants. Order of the Dragon army. It is just demolishing right now what is happening. You can see him just rallying in more and more units across the map. Plenty of units coming in towards that base. And now this is the stage where Wham needs to start thinking about siege. He's got the 2 Culverin out. That means that you're not really going to see many Springalds coming out from your opponent because the Culverin are too strong. So what do you make? You make these bad boys right here. We got to get the mangonels out right now, Wham. You got to go for the mangoes. I feel like it's one of the best plays that you can make in this situation. Mangoes. But now the Zhukanoo really starting to do work. Emergency repairs coming in on the house on the front line. Interesting decision. Still, the Swabias stand strong. 96 villagers up against 111. Defender. Kind of not really where he should be when it comes to those eco stats. I'm going to be honest. Ideally, he should be sitting at about 135, 140 at this stage of the game. We're at the 28-minute mark. Comparing the pair, you're sitting at about 5.5k for Wham compared to his opponent sitting at about, what is it, 4.2, 4.3k, somewhere around that number, 4.4k maybe. So Wham with a slight, well, not even slight, significant economic lead at this stage of the game. The one thing he doesn't really have going for him is map control. We can feel it. Defender is looking really good when it comes to map control, and now looking to solidify that position even further. Throws a keep down in the middle of the map, looking to secure up both of the large golds. Have a look at this. If he can neutralize this gold over on the west side, he could put Wham in a bit of a difficult spot. Now, keep in mind, Wham has relics online, which will mean that the relics will power up those gold-needing units, especially your siege, but it's going to limit you significantly as to what composition you can go for. You can see he's still got 17 vills on gold at this stage, and now teeing off. The Zhukanoo still are not yet fully upgraded. Keep that in mind. He doesn't actually have the full upgrades. He needs to get Ming Dynasty and then go for 10,000 bolts, and then you'll be fully upgraded. He's just fighting Zhukanoo in Imperial Age. So it is absolutely fine to be doing this, but you really want to maximize your efficiency with these units. Get that extra +1 damage. Get that extra +12 damage from the next bolt. And now Elite Horsemen together with the Elite Knights or Elite Lancers coming out, looking to try and find some villagers. He did spot them, but the Spearmen picked them up very quickly. He now enters into the farmland of his opponent. He's able to see absolutely every single villager, and we do see some mills being added down here on the outsides of the bases, but you can see that there is a... All right, you ready? Here we go. Are you guys ready? Run, 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 run. Stop. Wow, dude, that is a lot of walk time. I calculated that as roughly 17 runs. That's like diarrhea. That is not good. That is something you don't want to be. Sorry. All right. Sorry. That. Oh Lord, what? Make it stop, Drongo. Please don't do that for us. Anyway, we'll check in with Defender. We'll see how he's doing. How's the defense going back here, Defender? Monlu Academy starting to get that single whip reform in. Still no regional inspection though. One of the better upgrades. Did immediately go for that that seal. You know, we talked about Navy seals. We talked about elephant seals. And now, of course, you've got the Imperial red seals. But on top of that, we're going to have that single whip reform coming through. So expect to see your Imperial officials running around at light speed. There they go. Looking for any tax that they can gather, especially tax towards the enemy units. That's going to be the key tax that they're looking for here. But at this stage of the game, the Juicy Library finally comes in. Oh, it is a pleasure to see. He ideally wants to avoid fighting until the Juicy Library is up, because not only does he need the Juicy Library online, but he also needs to get 10,000 bolts. The problem is with 10,000 bolts, you can't supervise it. So it means that you have to really go quite slow. Where did he put it down? Can we have a look and see? Not here. Ming Dynasty has begun. Ming Dynasty has begun. There it is. Temple of the... No, that is not Temple of the Sun. So he's going to get a little bit of extra damage. So +1 damage. Might not seem like a lot, but it does add up because you got 3 shots coming in off each of these guys. And it's an extra damage of point of damage that you get against ranged units, which is really, really nice on these Gilded Archers. So this is really, really good. Continues to push through, though. The Bombard is out. Still no Mangonels coming out just yet for Wham. But he seems to be dealing pretty effectively here with the Zhuge-Nu. The number's not looking the best for Defender. He's down about 60 population at this stage. So definitely taking a fight there when he didn't need to. 10,000 bolts now going to be coming in. Fully upgraded Zhuge-Nu and Crossbowmen are going to be coming online. Literally upgraded to the max. You cannot get better units than those ones. Or at least you can't get better Zhuge-Nu than those ones. Crossbows, I think probably the English crossbows are the best. Maybe you could make an argument for the French or the JD, but 10,000 bolts still on the way through at this stage. Not long to go. Another 45 seconds or so. I think it's 90 seconds, yeah. It's a 90-second upgrade, and you can't supervise it. It just takes so damn long to come through. Imperial official on standby, unfortunately. Not going to be able to find it, but now more and more units coming towards the middle here. Hand Cannoneer numbers starting to build. He's up to 19 Dragon Hand Cannoneers. Keep in mind, this unit is one of the better units available to the Order of the Dragon. The Dragon Hand Cannoneer is particularly good because it doesn't overkill as much as your standard hand cannoneer because it's got a faster attack speed. And I know that might seem weird, but it does make sense. Essentially, if you only fire once every 3 seconds, it means that one unit's going to get in nice and close to you, and everybody's going to focus it down. But if everybody's firing off every second, what that means is those units will never get close enough for everybody to hit it at the same time. And what's going to happen is it's going to get taken out before everybody blasts it. At least that's the plan. So eventually, it does actually work out to be quite good to have this bonus. And Dragon Hand Cannoneers are, in my opinion, probably one of the best in the game, with the exception of maybe the Chinese, with that extra range, of course. But now Defender looking to push through, under attack in multiple areas to keep under pressure. The Bombard is slowly pushing towards it. Cavalry, the run through. It's not even going to matter. I love the fact that he's got no walls and just doesn't care. I feel like if you were playing against Beastie, he would absolutely rip you apart with these lack of walls. But Wham is literally just a honey badger right now. He does not care. Just playing he's playing his little heart out over there, isn't he? Looks like the Bombard did get cleaned up by a couple of villagers. Fair enough, villagers. You guys do you. I ain't gonna hate. And now the Zhuge-Nu, with their extra attack speed, or rather movement speed, and attack damage, have reached their final form. They've now got that 4th bolt that is out. And this is where the Zhuge-Nu gets very, very strong, because you've got an extra 25% damage now that's come through in the Imperial Age. But look at the Hand Cannoneers. Look at the Dragon Hand Cannoneers. 4.5 tiles of range, actually matching the Zhuge-Nu. And only 2 population compared to the Zhuge-Nu, which is 1. It might not seem like a lot, but remember, in the late game, these units are very, very cheap units. So 1 population's quite a lot of population for such a cheap unit. You know, you think about it, right? A knight costs the same. The knight is the same amount of population as the Zhuge-Nu, and it costs 3 times as much. I think it is. I'd have to double check my numbers. It's probably not 3. It's probably like 2.5 times as much. But you get the picture. Grenadiers coming out now, looking to try and settle the score here as the push has come to shove, and Defender now going to be having to role play as the defender in this game. Not something he was expecting. He's been pushing since, what was it, the 12th minute, the 13th minute? And now finally, on that defensive wham, still not yet, by the way, still not yet maxed. Still at 200 or 173 population. Keep under pressure. Doesn't yet have acid distillation up. A little bit of an oversight here from Defender. Doesn't actually have his second tier wood gathering either. Definitely a bit of a mistake right there from him. Of course, lumber preservation, one of the better upgrades in the game. Very, very powerful once you reach that castle age, and he manages to take out the bombard. Falls back towards the keep. Now those Yukonu numbers, once again, starting to build. The mixing of the Grenadiers coming through, though. Grenadiers are definitely a little bit more efficient in the late game. Take a look at the cost differences here. You're talking about 30, 30, 20, so that's 80 resources against 120, 60, 60, 240 resources. So the Grenadier is 3 times the cost of the Yukonu. 3 times the cost, but it is the same amount of population. So it becomes very population efficient to make those Grenadiers. However, as long as you never reach your maximum population and you're always trading out units, and as long as you're maintaining a pretty decent mass, you should actually be fine with the Yukonu. Well, that's at least how the theory goes. Bit of an attack over towards that east side. Looks like we've got Warwick the Wolf out here, trying to dish out some damage. Defender's going to have to fall back. He says it's too many legs for me to deal with. But now down towards this west side, we're going to enter into the cinematic mode as the hand cannoneers look to try and tee off towards all the Grenadiers, all of the Yukonu. The numbers here are looking pretty good for him, but you can see he's getting eaten alive by the reinforcements. The hand cannoneers now going to have to deal with the palace guards as well, and they're going to look to soak up a lot of that damage. That's what we were talking about. When it comes to this, you can see them all focusing down this palace guard on the front rather than getting that decent concave damage in on all these units, and that's really how you want to be doing it. Now that the whittling down of that juicy army finally starts to come through here. The bombard together with the culverin. He doesn't even need a mangonel. That's the crazy part. You know, a mangonel would have made this so much easier, but he doesn't even need it. Now starting to move forward though. The bombard able to begin focusing down the keep. A lot of this gold has been taken off the top. We'll have a look and see exactly how much has been able to secure. More than half, or almost half of that gold. Now in the middle of the map, it looks like Wham has secured up the rest of that large gold vein. And Defender now under pressure. You can see the stone walls coming up at 37 minutes into the game. Defender, I've already said the word late. It's a repeat of, you know, me at school. I remember just being late all the time at school. You know, I remember when I was a kid, my mum just screaming out, "My name's Keaton," and she'd be like, "Keaton!" Tell you what, if my sister hears this, she's gonna lose her shit. She just loves that. Oh gosh, we always used to make fun of my mum. She'd always be screaming at the top of her lungs because we were always running late. You know what it's like being a teenager, right? And your parents are like, we gotta go 5 minutes ago, and you're just like, yeah, do I really need to brush my teeth today? Oh gosh. Anyway, I always had like a hierarchy of things I'd knock off the list depending on how late I was. It was like, do I even really need to wear underpants? Like, no. And you'd like, because you've been up all night gaming, right? So you're tired as hell. And you look at your clock and it's like 8:25 and your mum's screaming out, "It's time to go!" And you're like, oh shit. All right, what do we need? Pants, shirt. All right, let's go. We're good. And that's it, right? Anyway. I hope this story didn't ring true for you. I hope you didn't get a little bit, yeah, you guys get the picture. Anyway, sorry, a little bit of a curse cast coming out again. Wham, still put on the pressure. Have a look at this. Bombard emplacements over on this east side of the map have well and truly come up. He's got 2 of them securing up this land. Not a huge importance, but it does neutralize the sacred site at the very least. Make sure his opponent can't reach it. Fighting tooth and nail for this last bit of gold. Now, one of the things he's got going for him is the trade post is in the back of the base. Right here at that backside. Market position is still open. He can look to get stone walls up on it as well. You can see that villager is making a move for the market in the corner. Definitely the right call, but I hope he hasn't left it too late. Triple bombard now starting to move up. He's got 1,700 gold in the bank, which should be enough. But now the Yukonu starting to push up. Springalds, roller shutter triggers is through. Up against a single culverin here. He's going to be having a tough time. Yukonu just teeing off on that front line. You can see on the backside, Imperial Guard looking to try and come around that edge. These are not Lancers. These are Imperial Guard, but they get cleaned up by the Gilded Spearmen. Not to mention their hand cannoneers doing a decent job. Springled, beautiful micro, rather Culverin, beautiful micro. Takes him out one by one. You can see he's just struggling to make ends meet on that north side of the map. It's been a tough fight. It's been a tough game, but wham, now max 200 population, defender 145. I think that might be it. I don't think there's any coming back from that. The population deficit's way too much. The tempo advantage is way too in favor of wham, and on top of that, have a look at that military difference. Finally, we see it. The Holy Roman Empire variant, the Order of the Dragon, just got to where they needed to be. And have a look at their farms, man. Talk about farming economy. Like, there's literally no food left on these farms. Like, it is just 100% of the food has been taken. Like, these villagers have barely got enough food to carry back. Look at this. The farm's got 28 on it, man. Like, he's got all the upgrades, though. So I guess that's fair enough. And he's under the Arkan Chapel. It's pretty close to the maximum I think you could get. Look at that, down to 24. That is ludicrous. For anybody who doesn't know, when that gets to 0, your villager just goes idle, just chills out. It's like you've beaten the game. That's it, friend. We've got Yuan Raiders now starting to come out here. Keep in mind, these are one of the fastest units in the game. Faster than our horsemen. Faster than the, I don't know, Reboldiquin. That's a unit. That's a unit, right, guys? And now pushing towards that opponent base. The first of the landmarks will be focused down. It's going to be the Juicy Library. Keep in mind, he's got, I think he should have 6 landmarks at this stage of the game. So he's got quite a few to work through. Battering rams coming out. Imperial Guard going to make their way towards the backside, but they just get pincered completely by those hand cannoneers. We enter into the cinematic mode once again as the hand cannoneers look to try and take out that front line, doing an incredible job there. The Gilded hand cannoneers just firing off towards that juicy army, or what once used to be the juicy army. Cleaning up everything. The bombards behind. We hear a little bit of an attack siren behind the scenes, but do not be fooled by it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the important part of the game right here. This is what is so important. Hand cannoneers, you don't even see their shots firing off. You can see him focusing down the siege workshops, and it's not even going to matter, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. That is over. Wham! 0-1 victorious over Defender, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like to check out Wham, I'll leave a link in the description with regard to the Land Rover. I've got no idea where he streams at, but if you know, leave a comment and I'll add it in. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.